In 2013, Reclaim the Lanes, having paraded through local lanes in Newtown, descended on Sydney Park to celebrate its long history of events and free-spirited parties. 1,500 people and about 8 sound systems scattered around the brickworks and surrounding parklands, presenting a magical, colourful festival.
I really enjoyed reclaiming Sydney Park. Like, I was at the last ever rave that they had there before that all got smashed down, and I remember being there at the time in 1990 whatever, and it was really nice to be able to go back in a really joyous, playful way, you know, escorted by the police.
Sydney Park had an important role to play in the emergence of what became known as Doof.
An injury to one is an injury to all.
Here in the deepest depths of South Newtown is the temple of the birth of Doof. The German woman who lived in this house, now abandoned, next door to 600 King Street, where non-bossy posse were having a jam and where the music was going through the wall. And eventually she had enough of the repetitive beats at about 140 BPMs coming through this wall, and she made her way out of the front of the house next door to make that famous noise complaint.
What is this doof, doof, doof all night long? This is not music.
The birth of Doof was at 600 King Street on a balmy evening when Dee Dee was making way too much noise for poor Helga next door, who was trying to get an early night.
Her real name was Sonia, by the way.
Someone said, someone's at the door, and I went down and I was saying, sorry, someone's playing music, and she did say, what is this Doof? Doof, doof, bloody doof, all bloody night. We were all wordsmiths in 600 King Street. Everybody had a pun or a bit of vocabulary that became the next day's new word. And doof, 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 within a week was what's famously become known as Doof.
Storytelling and the way word travels is pretty rapid, and that expression Doof could have travelled very quickly to very far. But it also recognises the fact that Doof is an onomatopoeia. It is a descriptive word of the sound itself, so it could spontaneously pop up all over the place.
The new steel pulse of motivational energy spurned on by all-night techno dance parties, environmental and social justice campaigns now had a name.
In the beginning, there was a Sydney punk scene.
Punk in the 70s, particularly mid to late 70s, was a DIY rebellion against the whole dinosaur, big corporate, big label, big stadium rock thing.
Just look at the difference that the punk movement made to the way youth culture's evolved over the preceding generations to now, and the way people have co-opted those DIY attitudes and stuff, and you can see it everywhere.
The ethos of punk was very DIY, and the whole trance, underground computer music, Atari, weird music that happened in the 80s was also of a DIY mentality that meant that people at home with home computers could make their own, music. They didn't have to go and suck up to labels.
Early electronic music, there was a sense of creating a new reality, which punk opened the door for.
The ideology of anarchism and punk got transferred, and DIY culture got transferred and inspired by electronic music.
The whole techno nomad, travelling nomad, reclaiming free space, doing parties, illegal parties, it was just a hop, skip and a jump from the politics of punk.
Basically we were told we couldn't have any space, so we just went, well, screw you, we're going to take it.
Their eviction became almost street theatre, with commentary from above.
Who's the real vandal here, eh?
Jellyhead kind of started because we were sick of the scenes in the pubs, being alcohol and being really regulated and not really culture couldn't express itself.
And so the Jellyhead party started up.
So suddenly the Jellyhead punk nights had a DJ at the end of them, and then a DJ in the middle of them, and then fuck the punk bands, let's just have all DJs.
And so we had these kind of weird new machines that came that produced wiggly, futuristic sounds that nobody had ever heard before. A kind of trans-tribal transcendentalism.
And I think that's why people hooked into the whole vibe tribe thing. It was that sort of tribalism. Then, after a time, the Jellyhead venue itself got shut down. But by now, I think the movement had sort of realised this liberating thing that we could just reclaim space around the city of Sydney in order to do parties.